Hello, guys. Welcome back to the TheBlackOutTea channel. Like, hype, share, subscribe. Let's get into the shenanigans. Hey, boos. Welcome back. All right, so I wanted to have a conversation with y'all just to get your opinions. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. We've got a young lady here, okay? A woman that's accusing a South Carolina pastor of years of long sexual manipulation at a divine deliverance worshiping center, which is the church that she was most likely attending. However, I feel as if I read the story just a little bit and then I stopped. I was like, you know what? Let me take this to my viewers as well, because something in the milk ain't clean here. I can see if this was something that happened, at a short period of time, and then she felt bad about it and then tried to confess. But it seems to me like this young lady is not trying to have or hold any type of accountability. And it's because her husband has found out that she was being a 304. Let me know what y'all think. Let's get into this story. I have a wonderful husband who loves me, but I allowed my bishop of 8 years, Apostle Michael Joyner, to use his position as a spiritual leader to initiate and maintain a sexual relationship with me. The relationship was not equal in power or influence. He was my spiritual authority, held a position of trust, influence, and control, which he used to manipulate and shape my behavior to satisfy his personal and sexual desires. His words: my wife doesn't minister to me sexually. We haven't been intimate in over 20 years. Anytime I preach extremely hard, typically during high services, I experience strong sexual urges and need satisfaction that I know I am not going to get when I get home. Also, his words: a person never really stops cheating. They just do it differently. He made all these statements to normalize and continue the sexual behaviors between him and I. Through the entire encounter, I was expected to maintain a public image within the church while privately engaging with him in sexual activity. I was placed in situations where I had to stand before the congregation, receive ministry from him publicly, and suppress the reality of what occurred previously and privately. He used his leadership to maintain secrecy, and he used his leadership to create circumstances within ministry and negative impacted how I was perceived and treated by others. I had to deal with around because of what his church could feel but not prove. I was deemed disrespectful. What was there to respect? How do you respect leadership in church if the leadership doesn't respect church? Leadership is supposed to represent something sacred, and unfortunately it does not. This was not an isolated incident, a mistake, or a misunderstanding. This was intentional, deliberate, ongoing, and sustained over several years. He invited me to his ministry under these pretenses. I didn't come to his church to make him fall. He had already fallen, which is why he wanted me to come around, so he had a way of seeing me and justifying why he was in a communication with me. His words: you have to come to the church, April. I have no way of explaining you otherwise. He damaged my sense of self and personal identity. He caused social harm with me within the church community. He caused me spiritual harm and loss of trust in the religious leadership. I did. This was, just a second, y'all, because, I didn't come to his church to make him fall. He had already fallen, which is why he wanted me to come around. And he invites her to the church is what it sounds like. She's saying that he caused social harm within the church community. He caused her spiritual harm and loss of trust in the religious leadership. And she says, I did not initiate the situation, but I did go along. He made sure I became really close and attached to him. I trusted everything he said. He was a trusted leader that abused his influence with me. I was shaped, manipulated, and used to satisfy his flesh while he maintained an image before the church. He slowly broke my inner being emotionally, mentally, physically and spiritually. He affected my entire relationship with faith itself. A person can stand behind the pulpit, preach powerful prophecies accurately, and still be living in deep intentional wrongdoing. Do not confuse gifting with righteousness. The same man who corrected others publicly was privately doing the very things he condemned. He spoke the word of God through the microphone while living in direct contradiction. He put his church on considerations that he didn't honor himself. While the church was turning down their plates, not eating, he was still eating. And then she has in parentheses, me. While he informed his congregation to fast from their phones, social media, anything virtual, he was virtually jacking himself to me. Oh my God. To my me on video in his office, in his church, in his pastor's study. It's not really used to study anything biblically. The only thing he was studying was me. Studying and examining my female parts. Right before Bible study. Right before he walks out in fake humility and mounts the pulpit. So, yeah, the church has a high time in the Lord. Though through him, because he's already on his high. He's already got his quick fix, his sexual release. The same hands touching the oil, the same hands touching the folks' foreheads is the same hands used to satisfy his flesh. He preaches a standard to his members that he doesn't live by himself. While the church was sacrificing, he was indulging. While the church was praying, he was playing. While the church was disconnecting from the world, he wasn't. The church has a high time in the Lord through him because he's already on his high. He already got his quick fix, his sexual release, the same hands touching oil. He preaches a standard to his members that he doesn't live by himself. While the church was sacrificing, he was indulging. The glitz and glam of church is not real. We stand the applaud for every people in leadership that we have the same issues, we have more. He tried to convince me. Will did convince me. First she says he tried to convince me and then turns around and say, Will did convince me to separate the two. Two meaning separate the man Michael from the Bishop Michael. Know when I'm being your pastor and when I'm being your guy, April. Those were his words to me. April, you really have to learn to separate the two. The church has to stop blindly protecting leadership and hold them accountable. The same accountability that he preaches, he needs to be held to it. He needs to address his church. He needs to apologize to me, to his church, to his family, to his following. We have to stop sweeping things under the rug to maintain an image that's not real anyway. I don't mind exposing myself when it's the truth. This is my bold truth, and true character walks in truth. This is my honest release. The truth sets me free. I'm free. I'm done. So this is a church, y'all. Okay, she says, called Divine Deliverance Worship Center. This is Ivriel. I think that's how you pronounce her name. This is the young lady. This is the pastor and his wife. This is the pastor on the pulpit. Now, I noticed that she mentions to take accountability. But I want to know, when is she going to take accountability for what she did? She knows good and well that she was up in this church hooping and hollering, honey. And most likely getting the church money from this man as well. And I believe that maybe something transpired, or she wanted to explain herself to her husband. Or she had to because she got caught. And now she's mentioning accountability about him accepting and taking it, but not herself. So y'all know me, I got inside of the comments, okay, a little bit. And I was like, girl, take accountability for your shenanigans. As a matter of fact, y'all start following me at melanin_KK Talk 101 on Instagram. Okay. So I let her know, girl, take accountability for your shenanigans. You was getting some of that church money. Now get off these people's internet and go be honest to your husband. Let your husband know that you made a mistake and was out there being a 304 for a second, if you're really trying to save your marriage. But don't try to blame just the pastor. We see right through the BS. If you didn't get caught, nobody would ever know. So don't run to no internet. Take the accountability and see if y'all able to move on. And then I let her know, ain't no need to bring us no information that don't make sense this season. Because the seasoned individuals like myself and you guys is going to let them know right is right, wrong is wrong, bottom line, vice versa. We not playing. We not playing. We are tired. When you see both the males and the females now getting upset with these 304s don't even want to accept their labels nowadays. They want to claim they not a hoe, they ain't this and they ain't that, but they doing all the hoish things that we knowing them to, that we know a hoe to do when we was growing up. And they don't even want to accept their labels. So people in the comments are saying she's not a child. She knew what was happening, what it was and what it was and what it was not going to be. Another person says, sad to say, but adult women of a certain age need to be held accountable for their own actions. This is true. She just couldn't tell that married pastor no. Shaking my head. Exactly. Accountability, you made a choice. My wife doesn't minister to me sexually. Child, I know, honey. That doesn't even sound right to me either. No personal responsibility. And this is what she wants. She wants to throw all of the responsibility and the accountability on him when she know good and well she shouldn't even be sleeping with this goddamn woman husband. Okay, you knew that the pastor was married. Another person says, no ma'am, I'm sorry, you had a choice and you were also married. You could have walked away. He has no power to make you do anything you didn't want to do. Take accountability for your actions. A woman will call bad choices manipulation when she doesn't get what she wants. What's wrong? He didn't leave his wife. And I think either that's the issue or her husband found out about this affair that she was having in the church. I'm sick of these people coming on here trying to lie, make up stories and stuff like this. And we know that sexual assaults do happen. We know that people do groom individuals. But this girl right here is not going to tell me the fact that she was not groomed, y'all. She was not groomed. This girl knew exactly what she was doing and would continuously have done it if either the pastor wife hadn't found out, her husband hadn't found out, or the people in the church hadn't discovered what actually was up. So let your girl know what y'all think down in the comments. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notification bells. I love you, boos. Y'all know I'm going to see y'all soon. Mwah. Thanks for watching.